In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 things that you must consider before buying from 168 to source for your business. The first thing to consider is the payment gateway. Tell me if you've been in this situation. You find a nice product and it has a great price, but when it comes time to actually pay, you can't. 1688 only supports direct bank transfers, Alipay, or Chinese bank cards. But don't worry, if you're starting small, I recommend you try using the Alipay Tour Pass in the video up here if you just want to get started. If you want to level up your business after you've tested it with the Tour Pass, then you can actually open an Alipay account afterwards. Plus, once you actually open the Alipay Tour Pass and go through the process of inputting your passport information and all that in the system, it is so much easier to buy from 1688 in the registration process. You might want to check out my 1688 video in the description for more details on exactly how to buy goods from there. As I mentioned before, if you find good business and you want to expand your limits beyond that of Alipay Tour Pass because they have transaction limits, you can actually open a bank account remotely in China by opening a business. Just check out the process in the video right here where I interview a company and I talk to an expert in the e-commerce business inside China to get your business started. So yeah, once you have figured out the payment gateway, you're not done yet. The second concept is freight forwarders. Actually, 1688 only focuses on the domestic mainland China market. A lot of the times they will refuse to ship your goods from their warehouse or from their factory. That may be for several reasons, like they don't have the proper certifications, they don't have the proper export license, they may not have the same systems in place to actually ship overseas. So you will need a freight forwarder that can ship to your country and handle all the logistics inside of China. You can simply add my WeChat up here if you're looking for people that are focused on bulk item freight forwarding. But if you are focused more on the B2C side, that you're just selling goods for maybe e-commerce, e-packets, etc., I highly recommend that you watch this freight forwarder video right here. I've used them personally before and they accept all Chinese goods from all Chinese platforms like 1688, Pinduoduo, Weidian, Jingdong, Taobao, you name it. And if you can ship it to their local address inside of China, they will usually find a way to ship it to your final country, with some exceptions if it's some special items like batteries or liquids. It's also a plus if you can negotiate with the freight forwarder to check the item and inspect it before you ship it outside of China. 1688 has a 7-day grace period where they ask no questions and they can actually issue you a refund as so long as you return the goods. So take advantage of that period, because once it leaves China, good luck. You're probably not going to get a refund if the items are defective. This kind of goes into my third point after you have figured out your freight forwarder: inspections. You can find a way to inspect the products before they leave China. This is what I highly recommend, but it does take work. You can either work with an agent or a freight forwarder or talk to the factory itself. However, you will need to communicate the needs with them directly. I typically ask for their WeChat to go into deeper discussion, and it also helps with the language barrier because WeChat offers auto translation functions, which is really convenient. If they write in Chinese, I can translate to English. If I write in English, they can easily translate to Chinese. When it comes to ordering a sample, you can actually negotiate the pricing if you can guarantee that you can buy larger quantities in the future if you do a live video with the factory before they send the goods overseas so that you check the goods. This way you can actually see the factory floor, you can see the products clearly before deciding to buy the product instead of being fooled by the pictures and the good advertising they do in the marketing, but when you actually receive the goods, they tend to be broken. Now realize not every supplier will agree to do this with you, but if you search long enough, you will eventually find one that may do it. I've had to search maybe 3 or 4 factories before one actually agreed, okay, you can add my WeChat and I'll take a picture of the goods before I ship them to the freight forwarder or overseas, in the rare chance that they do send it. Don't forget to also check the reviews of the products, as you can get an ease of mind with some people that post videos or pictures of the product. Some of the times, the suppliers will actually pay you and will actually give you a discount if you agree to take pictures and give them a good product review after you receive the goods. So you can expect more transparency with some suppliers. Just be wary that if everything is perfect and there are no bad reviews and all the products are perfect, that could be a red flag that they may have bought those reviews, especially if they're in like the thousands and they're a very small company with a very small volume. So once you've figured out how to do inspections, this goes into my fourth topic, which is avoiding scams. You don't want to get caught with your pants down with some of these scams that may happen. I've actually made a video about preventing scams when sourcing from platforms like 168, Taobao, and Pinduoduo. I'll put the link up there and I'll put the video in the description below if you're interested to look at it later. But essentially, you want to check the background of the company and the supplier to see if they are still registered. You don't want them to sell an item one day, then they close their shop on 168 or Taobao and they leave with all your money and there's no way to contact them. Each seller on 168 should have their company license number fully visible, which I go through in the video. You can also check this company license number to make sure that company is still operating and valid according to the government. If you have been a victim of a scam, immediately request a refund on the platform under My Orders and say the supplier just shut down shop with your money. You will most likely win most of the time, especially if it's within that 7-day grace period. So take advantage of this buyer protection. If this is a new supplier you're dealing with and you don't have that relationship already established, never take purchasing outside of the 168 platform until you have built trust. Some suppliers may ask you to send them money on WeChat or Alipay in exchange for a cheaper, too good to be true price. Well, if you do that, there is no buyer protection and they can run off with your money since you didn't purchase a product on 168. But let me show you a little trick on WeChat if you actually have WeChat Pay. Did you know you can actually delay payments up to 24 hours? And if I'm dealing with someone new, I can activate this feature. If they can't send the product with proof within 24 hours, I will reject the transfer and they do not receive the money and that money will get refunded to your account. Alipay is actually coming out with this feature in the future, but as of right now, they don't have this feature, but I will update you as soon as they do because Alipay is a huge payment platform used for sourcing in China. Now that you know about how to avoid some scams when dealing with 168, I will go into my fifth topic, and that is communication. Make sure you know how to clearly communicate with suppliers. Of course, you can utilize the little blue bubble, which it's called the little blue bubble chat on the mobile application or even on the website for starters. But I recommend you use the browser version and download the application Ali Wang Wang because the mobile version can get a little bit complicated if you don't know the system very well. Also, everybody with a business has a WeChat account. Like everyone in China pretty much that runs an online business must have a WeChat account, period. I recommend you get a WeChat because then you can have an auto translate function that's easily accessible to you to make it easier to communicate within you and your supplier. Of course, don't use WeChat to pay the customer for the first time, but for negotiations, pictures, videos, WeChat is key. Check out this video on how to get WeChat in 2021 so you can start talking to suppliers right now. Now, the language barrier is lessening as technology grows, so take advantage of it. And there's something I want to note is that a lot of Chinese suppliers that are in 168 don't care for international applications to contact international customers. A lot of them are very comfortable in the domestic market, so don't expect them to have WhatsApp, which doesn't work in China, Skype, maybe even Microsoft Teams. Whatever you're used to, don't expect them to have them up front. Of course, there are some that will actually have those platforms to communicate, but they're used to using their domestic methods. So you have to change, not them, if you want their pricing. So these are my tips on how to start right away if you have considered using 168 for your sourcing needs. Going from an English platform like AliExpress or Alibaba to a Chinese one can be difficult. But that is why I make these videos for you guys to help you overcome these issues. If you found value, please smash that like button and share this video with anyone that is considering starting their sourcing business around the world using 1688. Thank you for watching till the end, and let's make sourcing easy.